Today I want to teach you how to do a swirl join. A swirl join is when you join all the picots together on your rings and it draws them in tighter. The way we normally do it, on this one you see we make a ring with a huge picot and then we join the other consecutive rings to that same picot, and it leaves, you see this gap, it'll leave that gap. Now there are times you want the gap, there are times you don't want the gap. So for those times that you don't want the gap, we have the swirl join. As you can see, you're going to make very small picots and there's no hole here in the center. Now I'm going to show you how to accomplish this. Alright, now you can see here what I've got is 3 consecutive rings. Well, let me get up here. 3 consecutive rings along with 3 consecutive chains. Now we're going to work on the 4th ring and I'm going to show you how to join all these rings to get the swirl join. Now there is one of 2 ways that you can do this. One is you can come at it from one direction, and the way the picots will lay and stack will be different than if you come at it from the other direction. And I'll explain that once we get this ready to join. This pattern, the rings are 5 picot 5. The chains are 6 picot 6. No, I don't know whose pattern it is because I just put it together. So whoever's pattern it is, if they did that, thank you, let me know and I'll add your name. Alright, here we go. Now we're ready to join. Now we can come at this from this direction back this way, or we can come at it from this direction back that way to join. It doesn't matter. It's just going to reflect which way these picots will lay. Okay? So if you want this picot on top, you would do it last. If you want this picot on bottom, you would do it first. Alright? So it's up to you. So for right now, what we're going to do for teaching purposes, we're going to go through this first picot right here, nearest our ring. Okay, the one we're working on, we're going to go in through the top, just as if we was going to join, but we're not. We're going to step over here and we're going to grab this picot right here, put it on our hook, then we're going to grab this last picot right here and put it on our hook. At that point we grab our thread and pull it through our first picot, then pull it through our second picot, and hopefully you don't split the plies. I did. I think I'm using too small of a hook. Alright, let's do this again. Get it through that first one. And you can make your picots smaller when doing this technique. That way you don't have a big gap, you know. Alright, once you get them all through, what I do is I drape that on that finger so it keeps that ring open to run my shuttle through. Got my shuttle through it. Now I'm going to pull that picot back into place. See that? I pulled it all in. Now I'm going to finish my ring. 5 double stitches. Let me get these tails out of the way so you can see. We got 5 double stitches, and remember, snug that first double stitch up to that picot to keep everything in place and tight. We've got 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we got our 5 double stitches in. Now we close that ring. Close it like you would any other ring. Just pull it till you get it tight. There we go. Get them tails out of the way. In fact, I'm going to snip these things off real short for you so that they don't hamper your view and show you. Now, doesn't that look better than this big gaping hole? It makes the piece more uniform, makes it neater appeal. And when you're working with beads and stuff, you want everything tight so that it doesn't have a lot of give. Alright, so I hope you've learned something today, and I hope you've learned how to do the swirl join, and you'll incorporate it more in your work. There is no set place for the swirl join, you know, as when you would use it, unless the pattern calls for it. So on that note, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and happy tatting.